Okay. I just read a little bit of this lesson, and I also had this video on, and I read the first two sentences, and I went, "That's what I did with this lesson. That's my physiological response." In actuality, this stuff is like, where does it come from, man? These sentences. I mean, they claim to come from a spirit that spoke to Helen Schuckman, a atheist Jewish academic lady who didn't want it to come to her. Apparently, that's what the story is, supposedly. Just so you know. Anyways, this is a course in miracles, of course in what? Miracles are, is, changes the purpose for perception to be repurposed and shared wholly and received in the giving of truths like peace, actually, forgiveness, love, totally. Hey, the way I know I have true things is by giving them, actually. If I give you um, this can, I don't have it anymore. And in the realm of like time and stuff and story and human beings, like that is what we live in, a world where everything we think we believe in is actually sort of, we know, kind of like whatever the word ephemeral is. And we can dance nicely with that too, for sure, actually. But we're trying on the Course of Miracles. The Course of Miracles is the meaning making, storied perception from which, to which, for which we are giving our perception to in this conversation. Consider it Lee. And Joey can hear you say what the radically awesome shininess of the ephemeral might be too, actually. What a preciousness. How precious. Oh my God, this kid, Joey. What a one life to live he gave me. This boy bodied man meat suit flute, and I the wind through him. He has one life to live. Apparently he believes this, and that's what you two believe, that this dirt it grows up to be me, a man called Joey. And as the rose grows, it also tends to eventually will be in dead man's pose, right? Shavasana. At the end of all of its body movement yoga, its last pose, its last pose is dead man's pose. In some way, this is the story we know about human, um, human being progression and actuality, the way the story of what humans are, what they do. Hey, and this precious kid, has given me his whole life to live. And I, the soul, am the wind through him. Speaking, he says to me, the wind I am, hey bro, in conglomeration with me, using my mouth, give me the best life I can have, actually. Also help those around me, and perhaps my whole human family. He's looking over his shoulder. He is over his shoulder. And they are in a communication together. And then the wind is like, yeah, man, interesting, yeah. You've given me all your fingers too, and every elbow you have for this one life to live, this one precious dance jam. Let's go, bro, yo. And, let's find what's most sincerely of value. And if it ain't that, why, go for it, right? Okay, anyways, A Course in Miracles, Lesson 45. God is the mind, God is the mind with which I think. And what do we think we can synonymize, synonymize, equate the word God with? In this case, source. So connected to my source. Hey, okay. That which I'm looking for is that which is looking. That which you are looking for is that which is looking. It's available for you to connect to right now. Source, God, is the mind. Who sourced? What does my mind think when I know it's sourced? Am I able to put myself meditatively there and think those thoughts? Even while it may seem that my body is perhaps doing something like, I don't know, whatever, having some sort of temperature, intensity maybe, or whatever. Can I think the thoughts I think when I am connected to source, to God, to cause, to creation? God is the mind. The mind is the meaning making. And God is holy, wholeness actually too. Source, wholeness, is the meaning making with which I think actual thoughts meaningfully. Paragraph number 1. Today's idea holds the way to what your real thoughts are. They are nothing that you think, just as nothing that you think you see is related to vision in any way. Not at all. Goodness, so intense, Course in Miracles. So intense you are. Okay, there is no relationship. There is no relationship between what is real and what you think is real. Between what is real and what you think is real. It's not even, they don't even relate. They're a total differentiation of dimensions. Nothing that you think are your real thoughts resemble your real thoughts in any respect. Whatever you think about things, that's a box around them, and it is what the truth is about everything is unlimitedly about it true, actually. It is beyond the bounds of your thinking. There are words that can lead us to letting go into it. They are like kind of like descriptions, maps of the territory of truth, which is basically the truth is true. It's always true. Anything other than it is not true. The truth doesn't change to something other than what it is, otherwise it would change to something other than what the truth is. A cause is a cause because of its effects, wholly one connected thing. In reality, all there is truth actually, and there is nothing separate from it. Not even your emotions actually are real. They, well, like actually, like the emotions, yours, mine, his, hers, about loneliness are a story of separation, which the mind thought it mischievously wanted to mess with, and just got itself stuck in what it thinks of as whatever amount of time it thinks of that it's stuck in it. But all that is actually and all that is actually like a tiny marble, a little mad idea in the mind, in the infinite heart beating of God. This tiny little thing, just like we got so transfixed by it. What if there was something other than the truth? What would it be like? Oh my God. Who am I? Am I other than the truth? Am I true? What happened? Did I mess up? I'm sorry, everybody. How did I get these elbows? I wish I could do better with them, you know. Oh my God, I've got one life to live. How sad. And, you know, who knows what origin story is true? What we do know is that whether it's logically consistent or not, and also what sort of like the effects of that story, the origin story, have on us. You know, the Course in Miracles to me seems to be like from one perspective, I could say it's the monkey mind heart's best capacity for communicating about the actual reality of chaotic duality. Perhaps that's a perspective to have fair-mindedly, and to allow myself to try on and to know that that could be right. It's not a problem, even if it is. It's not exactly what the Course in Miracles says that it is, and that is fine from the monkey's perspective. And the heart and minds too. Okay. Nothing that you think you see bears any resemblance to what vision will show you. Paragraph number 2. You think with the mind of God, therefore you share your thoughts with him, and he shares his with you. You think with the mind of God, therefore you share your thoughts with him, and he shares his with you. They are the same thoughts because they are thought by the same mind. To share is to make alike and to make one. Nor do the thoughts you think with the mind of God leave your mind, because thoughts do not leave their source. A cause is a cause because of its effects. They are one holy thing. Therefore your thoughts are in the mind of God, as you are. Nice. So mystically intertwined in actuality, assisting our mind to let go of the feeling of continuity in what we think of as our story, world, human reality, meshing up things. They are in your mind as well, where He is. He is, God is. As you are part of His mind. So are your thoughts part of His mind. Its mind, God's mind, the mind. The one mind, meaning making, fully only holy meaning, meaningful meaning, extending. Paragraph number 3, where then are your real thoughts? Today we will attempt to reach them. We will have to look for them in your mind because that is where they are. They must still be there because they cannot have left their source. What is thought by the mind of God is eternal, being part of creation. Creation, you hear this? Creation, a part of creation, in creation. Paragraph number 4. Our 3 5-minute practice periods for today will take the same general form that we used in applying yesterday's idea. Okay, which is we will attempt to leave the unreal and seek for the real. We will deny the world in favor of truth. The world, the Course in Miracles is saying, is what appearances are, what the projection is, what a story is, what the project, the possibility there would be a drama between truth and unreality, a battle, which the Course in Miracles says there is not in reality. There is only in the story, and the story is actually funded by the light of God, like underneath it. But the story is a filter, which is a filter of opposition or opposites, or againstness and antagonization and accusation, something like that. The tiny mad idea. I explained it in so many other videos. Into the mind of God that crept a tiny mad idea, at which I forgot to laugh, which was, what if there was something other than the truth? And the truth said, yo, bro, I don't go there. That don't make any sense, actually. And the mind said, yeah, but I want to see. And the truth said, all right, let's see. You'll see what that filter will do to your perception. Projecting out separation. It would be a world where meaningless, where communication didn't communicate, where kids were born innocent and ready to be made guilty and traumatized and things, and where like creators don't care about their creation much or something like that, not caringly anyway. And yeah, that would be what it'd be like. And then the mind put itself as a character in what that story that it wanted to see would be like if there was something other than what is, something against what is the symbol of that in the story. And it thought it was it. And the truth came and said, hey, bro, yo, you're just tripping on a tiny mad idea, actually. And the mind thought that the truth was trying now to kill what it is, what it thinks of itself as an identity. So it doubly defended the world of projection to be a place where God and truth could enter not, and yet can help divine mind to find, even in a field of minds, your good heart. Even through pretty poetry like this one from a man who is considered a very dark man, actually, but this is beautiful. He said, we separate but for the chance at reuniting. How beautiful, hey? Okay, what an adventure. Let's go. Okay, yo. We will attempt to leave the unreal and seek for the real. We will deny the world in favor of truth. We will not let the thoughts of the world hold us back. We will not let the beliefs of the world tell us that what God would have us do is impossible. We will not let the beliefs of the world tell us that what God would have us do is impossible. Instead, we will try to recognize that only what God would have us do is possible. And not only possible, it is now, actually, in the holy instant of, the kingdom within, or something, maybe. Just, yeah, meditation, taking off doing, going only into being. I heard today a cool thought about how doing is the roots and the fruits of being. It's a whole other like dimension of explanation in the Course of Miracles, though. And we're just trying the Course of Miracles on. So I'm just trying to say, like, man, I can jam with you if that's what you want to talk about. How doing can be the root and the fruit of being. Yeah, I mean, we're doing a Course of Miracles in some ways, hey? Yesterday I meditated 3 times 5 minutes, according to how the Course of Miracles has me do, and leads me to being. So it makes sense, actually. Hey, okay, paragraph number 5. We'll also try to understand that only what God would have us do is what we want to do. And we also try to remember that we cannot fail in doing what He would have us do. There is every reason to feel confident that we will succeed today. It is the will of God. Paragraph number 6. Begin the exercises for today by repeating the idea to yourself. Closing your ideas, your IEs, as you do so. Begin today's exercise by repeating the idea to yourself. God is the mind with which I think. That means whole meaningful meaning. When you start to study a course, you start to see that actually every word is a really interesting package of deep, profound, sort of doing and undoing meaning, meaningfully leading and unwinding the mind from, I don't know, yeah, all this. I could be poetic, but I'm not going to anymore. Okay. So, God is the mind with which I think, and close your eyes as you do so. Then spend a fairly short period in thinking a few relevant thoughts of your own. The relevant thoughts of your own, the ones that you naturally might seem to think you think, keeping the idea in mind. God is the mind with which I think. After you have added some 4 or 5 thoughts of your own to the idea, repeat it again and tell yourself gently. So you say again, God is the mind with which I think. And then you tell yourself gently, my real thoughts are in my mind. I would like to find them. And you do that gently. Then try to go past all the unreal thoughts that cover the truth in your mind and reach the eternal. Then try to go past all the unreal thoughts that cover the truth in your mind and reach to the eternal. See, this is equating the eternal with the truth. Under all senseless thoughts and mad ideas with which you have cluttered up your mind are the thoughts that you think with God in the beginning now. See, I kind of permutated it. Paragraph 7, it says, thoughts you thought with God in the beginning, but I am more presencing this, and I swear to God it's okay. The thoughts that you think with God now, in the now, they are there in your mind now, completely unchanged. They will always be in your mind exactly as they always were and are. Before the story was, everything you have thought since then will change, but the foundation on which it rests is wholly changeless. Nice. So cool, so beautiful. So in some ways, this is saying, like, the Course of Miracles is kind of saying, like, um, in the story, it may seem that you will awaken in the future, but awakening is prior to the dream, actually. That's a cool way to put it, Joey. Paragraph number 8. It is this foundation towards which the exercises for today are directed. What is this foundation? The foundation on which it rests is wholly changed. Everything you have thought since then, they will always be there in your mind exactly as they always were. Everything you have thought since then will change, but the foundation on which it rests is wholly changeless. It's this foundation towards which the exercises for today are directed. Here is your mind joined with the mind of God. Here are your thoughts one with His. For this kind of practice, only one thing is necessary. Approach it as you would an altar, dedicated in heaven to God the Father and to God the Son, the one you are with Him, as cause is a cause because of its effects, which you are. You will probably, and that's all one holy, you will probably be unable as yet to realize how high you are trying to go. Yet, even with the little understanding you have already gained, you should be able to remind yourself that this is no idle game, but an exercise in holiness and an attempt to reach the kingdom of heaven. Paragraph number 9. In the shorter exercise periods for today, try to remember how important it is for you to understand the holiness of the mind that thinks with God. In the shorter practice periods, try to remember how important it is to you to understand the holiness of the mind that thinks with God. Take a minute or two as you repeat the idea throughout the day. Appreciate your mind's holiness. I appreciate my mind's holiness, the holy, meaningful, meaning mind that I share with God, actually. Man, all these lessons are starting to stack in reality. I can see really nicely these past like 5 or 6. God is the mind with which I think. God is the light with which I see. Uh, God is my source. I cannot see apart from Him. Um, my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. These things are starting to stack nicely in my meaningful meaning making experience. Paragraph number 9, sentence 2. Take a minute or two to repeat the idea throughout the day and appreciate your mind's holiness. Holiness. Stand aside, however briefly, from all the thoughts that are unworthy of Him whose host you are. Stand aside, however briefly, from all the thoughts that are unworthy of Him whose host you are. So stand aside from all the thoughts that are unworthy of Him whose host you are. You are God's host. And thank Him and He yours. Thank you and He thanks you for the thoughts He thinks with you. And thank Him you do for the thoughts He is with you thinking. Okay. Have a wonderful day. I love you so much.